Welcome to Barkhausen Nature Bites. Today we're talking about a large fuzzy insect that a lot of us are seeing on the flowers right now. It's late summer here in Wisconsin, and those are bumblebees. And you can see I have a whole bunch of bumblebees literally right around me right now. I'm not too worried about getting stung. I'll get to that in a little bit, but we definitely see a lot of them right now. You might even hear them buzzing on the camera there a little bit. If you hear some that are kind of making a weird buzzing sound, but it's not very clear, it's hard to make out, well, those are bumblebees. And we'll go with that. So there's over 20 species of bumblebees here in Wisconsin, and what'll happen is like mid-April, late or early May, I should say, the queens are going to emerge from where they overwintered. They're going to look for a new nesting location, and where they're going to nest, old rodent burrows, old holes in the ground, crevices and rocks, dead grass, thick grass, thatch, and they're going to make a new colony there. The female, or should I say the queen, will lay some eggs. She'll do all the work to take care of the eggs right away because there's no workers yet. She has to basically make those workers. So she'll lay the eggs, feed the young, feed the larva. Once the larva metamorphosizes, she'll turn into adult female workers. She'll remain in the colony pretty much the rest of her life. She'll be laying eggs, taking care of the brood, whereas the adult female workers are going to be flying around, collecting food, bringing it back for the young. Now, how many bumblebees can be in a colony? It does depend on the species. There could be 30 bumblebees in a colony. It could be 400. It does vary quite a bit. And eventually, once you get to late summer, early fall, the queen's going to lay unfertilized eggs, which are going to hatch into males or drones, and she'll also lay some fertilized eggs, which are going to hatch into queens, or new queens, I should say, or also what's known as gynes. And those two, the new males and new queens, are going to fly off from that colony, mate, and eventually the new queens, the gynes, are going to overwinter and start a new colony the following spring. What happens to the old queen and the workers from the original colony? They're just all going to naturally die off before the winter sets in. So bumblebee colonies do not last year after year after year. There's always a new colony each year. Remember, those new queens, when they go in overwinter, before they do that, and especially in the fall, they're going to be building their fat reserves up quite a bit, and eventually going to be kind of just hibernating, overwintering beneath the leaf litter and like dead grasses and stuff, and that's where they're going to spend their winter. And to prevent their organs basically freezing up solid, they'll create almost like an antifreeze in their blood, which will help them out with that. So one of the big things about bumblebees, why they're really important, is they're actually really important pollinators, much like many other bees. And so one of the things they do, it's a little bit different than many other bees, is do something called buzz pollination. So what that means is that when they get to a flower, they're going to vibrate their bodies, and they're not going to the wings will vibrate a little bit, but they'll vibrate their bodies at a certain frequency that actually dislodges the pollen from the flowers, and it'll cling to either the bumblebee's hairs or it'll fall down to other flowers. And they're one of the few bees that actually can do that. And some plants, that's actually essential. That type of pollination is essential for those plants to get pollinated. Tomatoes, potatoes, cranberries, blueberries, kiwis. So some plants really need that kind of pollination. Again, bumblebees are one of the few ones to do that. That same thing to do with the vibrating their bodies to do that buzz pollination. They actually use that same thing to help when they're making their colonies in those burrows. They're trying to compact the soil underneath the ground. So you can almost think of them as like mini plate compactors when they're trying to vibrate their bodies and compact that soil beneath the ground for their burrows. They can also actually use that vibration to move rocks. A lot of weird things about that. In addition to that kind of a shaking, they'll also shiver much like we do to help raise their body temperature. So they're furry, which definitely helps them kind of stay warm in the colder temperatures, but they can actually shiver to raise their body temperatures up even more. That allows them to forage, look for food in the colder temperatures, and other bees aren't doing that. So like right now, it's early in the morning, lots of bumblebees out and about. I really haven't seen a lot of honeybees, a little bit colder this morning. So they can do that. So it's kind of a unique adaptation that they have there. Can they sting? I know that's a big question a lot of us have. Yeah, they can definitely sting. Does it hurt? Yeah, it does. Not going to feel like a gentle kiss for sure. It's going to hurt. Are they overly aggressive? No. I mean, you can see how close I am right now. They're not coming out and attacking me, at least not yet. I'm watching you, dude. They're not going to come out and attack me. Usually when they sting is if you accidentally step on one of their colonies or you just accidentally grab one, something like that. And they don't die after they sting. They can sting repeatedly. But again, it's really a defense. They're not actively looking you out to try to sting you. So don't worry about that. So as you're out and about this summer, look for these, especially right now, we're seeing quite a bit of them on wildflowers. And if you ever see some bumblebees out there and they're making like a weird sound, like a zub, 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 well, they're just flying backwards. Thanks for watching Barkhausen Nature Bites.